Hey, Breanne, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Is this your first ever podcast?
This would be my second podcast.
Ah, all right.
That's so
Well,
close.
this will be your best podcast. How about that?
I have more experience. So,
That's right. And your experience is going to shine through for all the listeners.
yes. Let's hope.
So, listeners, I'm on a different microphone today. I'm at home today, and I have a bad hair day. So, if you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube, you can look at my hat. This is the hat that I put on now and then. And I was just telling Breanne, I like hats without any brand on them. It's like the anti-brand hat. It's just blank. So there you
Don't
go.
see
I think 8 years I've never worn a hat on the podcast. So here we go.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Many guests have worn hats
Yep.
and I never really even notice. And then today I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave my hat on. So here we go.
I'm a hat guy today.
Now I'm a hat guy. Okay, you don't have to wear a hat though because your hair looks great. For
Thank you.
those listeners who don't know you, you've won about 8,374,000 awards, and we're not going to go into them all because that's boring. All that people have to know is that you've won 1,000 awards. You've won 2025 Canadian Hairstyle Colorist of the Year, Avant-Garde Hairstylist of the Year, Alberta Hairstylist of the Year, two NAHA Awards, 2024 Alberta Hairstylist of the Year, Canadian Makeup Artist of the Year, you know, blah, 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 blah. So many awards. You're like a professional award winner.
Apparently,
I
yeah.
think you might have more awards than anyone we've ever interviewed before.
It's cool. That's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Well, let's talk about. Well, hold on. Before we talk about it, I also want to mention that you focus on editorial work, and you are an educator, and you're actually pursuing your bachelor's in education at the University of Alberta, which is super cool. We'll talk. That's unique, and we're going to talk about that too. Let's start from the very beginning of Breanne Gershon. Where are you from, and why did you choose this industry?
I'm from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Those people who don't know what Alberta is, I call it like kind of like the Texas of Canada, like very Western vibes, if you will. So I'm from a
Okay.
small town of like 60,000 people. Yeah, and then I moved to Calgary, like a bigger city in Alberta about 4 or 5 years ago. So that's where I live now, but that's where I'm from. And how I got into it actually was in high school. I just joined cosmetology. And sometimes I think about what would happen if I didn't join that class. But anyways, I joined it and I liked it and then just decided to do it. And here
So in high school, you knew you wanted to be a hairdresser, or at least knew that you were interested in it.
yeah, I think it always just kind of came naturally. Like I just like
Mhm.
enjoyed doing it. I didn't find it difficult or anything. So maybe that's why I liked it. It was like easy. It's not like math, you know? So yeah, so it just kind of made sense. I don't know. And then when I graduated, I did actually apply to go to university. I got accepted for education, and then I withdrew when I found out that you had to pay a lot of money. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I just decided that I want to make money, and I'm just gonna try to get a job in a salon. So I did that. So yeah, that's how I started when I was 17.
So you got a job in a salon at 17, and what was that like?
It was interesting. Like, yeah, so long ago. It was, I don't know, good. Like I did, it was fun. I felt a little bit unqualified. I mean, I was 17, so even though I had the training in high school, I definitely didn't feel like professional, like a young professional. I was just a girl in a mall, just snipping hair. So yeah,
Were you behind the chair right out of the gate?
yeah,
Because 17, I mean, you already said it. 17 is so young. You know,
yeah.
it's like a child, and all of a sudden you're there, and you're gonna have clients, and the responsibility of making them look good and stuff.
Yeah, it was, yeah, looking back, I there was definitely a few times I like skirted the like how old are you question. I would be like 20, but like and then I thought, well, if I keep these clients for years, eventually they're gonna find out that I'm not being honest about my age, but I just didn't want people to be scared when I was cutting their hair. So I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't tell that fib very often. I just yeah, I definitely felt unqualified and I was very young.
Were you good at it?
I remember like the first haircut I did, the manager came over and like checked it because I was an apprentice, so she had to check it. She's like, you need to fix like this, and this. And I was like, okay. And then I did my next one and fixed, this, and this. And
Mhm.
then she's like, it's great. You're great. It's fine. So I mean, I don't know if I was good. If I look back at that haircut, it probably wasn't good,
Mhm.
but like, I don't think it was bad. Like, I don't think it was awful. So
It was good enough. The clients liked it, I guess, more often than not.
yeah, like it
Okay.
was growing pains, but like I don't think I was like butchering anybody.
Right. All right. So how long did you spend in the salon?
I worked in the salon when I was 17 until 25. Yeah,
Okay.
I was
So a
like,
pretty good amount of time.
yeah, so I went to a few salons and I had a clientele. I think by the time I was like my own clientele renting a chair by the time I was 23. So 23 to 25, I rented a chair. I loved it. I loved having my own schedule, doing my own thing. And then I wanted to move. So I just was gonna leave all my clients. So I was like, well, I'm gonna move to a different city. So yeah. So yeah.
And that's the bummer of moving as a beauty professional because we build up a good clientele. They love us. That's the foundation of our income and stuff. And then to move, you have to start over. Why did you want to move?
I think I realized that if I didn't move then, like, when am I ever gonna move? Like, I'm 23, like, I'm living in my hometown, which wasn't a bad thing. Like, it's a nice town. But yeah, I just felt like I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but I just wanted something different, and I just couldn't do what I wanted to do there. So
Yeah. Okay. So where'd you move?
I moved to Calgary, which is like how many people? I don't know, a few million. Like, it's a big
Yeah,
city
Calgary
compared
is a
to where
big
I'm from.
city,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's not that far. It's within Alberta, within the region, the same region.
Yeah.
So you moved there, and did you find a salon, or did you get right into editorial then?
So that's when I got into education. So I still have some
Mm.
clients that I do. Like if I go home or if they come here, I'll do them kind of here and there. But I recognized when I moved, like, I don't know if I want to rebuild a clientele. Like maybe I should do something
Mm.
different. So that's when I decided, like, maybe I'll try to get a job in education. But I had like minimal experience. I was just like, I want to teach. Like I'm gonna see what I can do. So yeah, so I applied for a hair college here. I did that for 2 years. And then through that, um, that's how I decided to go like full into education and get my degree and all of that. So yeah,
Okay, so you didn't build up a clientele. You were committed to being a hairdresser of a different type.
yeah, I was just like doing it. Like, let's see
Yeah,
what happens. Which
yeah.
was a big adjustment from having my own clients, my own schedule, my own income, and like, deciding everything to now working in a school where nothing's decided by me. I still struggle with that where I'm like, I think I like doing what I like to do. But yeah, so I did it. So yeah.
Okay, so you became an educator and you sharpened your teeth in that realm. And was that fully satisfying to you, or it seems to me that you wanted more because you started doing the. When did you start doing editorial? How many years after you started educating did you start doing editorial?
Yeah, I started doing it when I still lived in Medicine Hat, when I was still working behind the chair. So I started that when I was like, I started like maybe like 19, but I wasn't fully committed to it. I had just heard about competitions and was like, entering randomly, but like not consistently or with any skill. So when I was 23, I kind of revisited the idea and was like, I think I want to start competing actually. So yeah, I started. And then when I moved to Calgary, I had competed for a few years, hadn't won anything. And then yeah, when I moved here and started teaching, I just maybe like I don't know if it's because I had more time or I was just more committed or had was exposed to more people in Calgary where I had better
Mm-hmm.
options for like who I wanted for photographers and models, things like that. Like even the photographer I had in Medicine Hat still shot with me when I moved to Calgary for years, but it was just the expansion, I guess, of my world a little bit where I was like more committed to it. And then I
Mm-hmm.
started entering like fully, like
Yeah.
doing my best.
Interesting. Okay, um, so you were entering There seems to be a correlation between doing editorial work and award shows, right? And the editorial can be doing it for an award show, or it could be doing it for a client. It could be something that's going to be published in a magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give the listener some idea if they want to. Most of our listeners are behind the chair. They have good incomes, they have clients, they're trying to be better, etc. But they're intrigued about what the world of editorial is like.
Yeah.
And they recognize that that trying to give these kind of extreme looks can be really educational. It could be really good for them behind the chair and doing services for their clients to some degree, right? Like they may not do some big, wig that takes 3 weeks, and then they're not going to put it on their client's head. But just it's just good practice, to flex your creativity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, I noticed when I got into education and like revisited all of the basics that I learned in hair and was teaching them, I became such a better hairstylist. And so like, because I think when you start doing hair, you have all of the basics, you kind of know how to do everything okay, and then you end up kind of in a niche, which is good. And then you get clients kind of in that, especially like, with specialization of like people, foliage and balayage and whatever. But that's so different from the editorial realm, or so different from learning finger waves, or all of, it's a completely different world. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, yeah, the transition between being behind the chair working to doing that work, I think has made me a better hairstylist because I feel like I have so many tools now. Like I still have all the tools I had behind the chair, but more. Like, so yeah.
Sure. But I mean, do you have clients now? Do you work in a salon now and then?
A little bit. Like it's the least work I do, I would say. Like I'm like
Okay.
I do everything else more, but I do have clients that have either moved here or still come here on the weekend, and they're like, I'm gonna be here this weekend. Can we do it? So I have a chair that I rent from a friend just down the street whenever I want. Like if that's
Got it.
once every month or 2 months, then I just do like a day rate and like bring all my clients in and like catch up, and yeah.
Got it. Okay. So with the editorial work that you do, is it, are you getting hired by these management companies who are for campaigns for brands, or
Yes,
are
sometimes. Yeah.
you,
Like I think it's if you're going from working behind the chair as a hairstylist to wanting to get into that work, um, you kind of have to know somebody or know what you're doing, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
so it's helpful, I find, that I enter competitions because it's a way of showing what you can do. Because if you can show what
Mm-hmm.
you can do, they're like, well, we're going to hire this hairstylist for this photo shoot because she can do this, right? Whereas if you don't
Got
have
it.
anything to show, they can see that you can do balayage and foliage all day. That's very different than what they might be asking for. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's also like you kind of have to rebuild your portfolio a little bit on your own time, your own dime, your own effort, which is what I've done to show that you can do this. And that leads to those opportunities where brands are like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I want to hire you for makeup or hair or whatever. So yeah.
Got it. So it's like marketing yourself,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
yeah, as a top expert and then because you don't make any money putting in all the work for Naha,
Exactly.
right?
No,
But you get the notoriety,
exactly. And it's through that you just get more in the eyes of the people who are going to be hiring you for that stuff. Whereas if that's not
right?
in your realm at all, it's not in your realm at all, right? So
Right.
yeah.
I mean, the work that you do is unbelievable. Like I was on your website and I'm looking at this one,
Yeah. Thank you.
and so is that's a headpiece, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like a
Okay.
wig, yeah, that I made.
It is a wig. Okay. So, and you worked on this piece. And by the way, listeners, I'm looking at her Instagram page, June 23rd post. It's also all over her website, the same image. And let's see, what you won something. Let's say Live Hair Fashion Awards. and creative colorist of the year. So, how long did it take you to create this wig?
Um, that's a good question. I have to think back to it. It would have taken me probably a week, maybe a little bit more, but by that point, that was the last wig I made of that collection. So I was
Mm.
just breezing through it. Whereas the other two I built first, so they probably took me long, maybe like a week or maybe two, maybe.
And they're all in a similar kind of style.
Yeah, they are.
So, how do you get the idea for something like this?
It's always interesting. Like the ideas evolve. So it might start as an idea like that. I had this idea that I wanted like hair to look like melting paint somehow. Like I was like, I
Mm.
want it to have that like cascading kind of look. But then I realized like through practicing that it was not looking like that, how I had envisioned it. So
Hmm.
I was kind of just playing around with hair, and then I realized it looked much better with a lot more volume and in those shapes. So it kind of just evolves as I do it. But usually I don't know, I'll be on Pinterest or Google or just see something that I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could like do that with hair and then see if I can.
I mean, it kind of looks like that. It looks a little more like swirled paint. You know,
Yes,
if,
I would agree.
yeah, yeah, which is really amazing. Just I can't stop looking at it. And the colors that you chose are fascinating and beautiful. Is this what's the material of the hair? Is this real hair?
It's a combination. So it's a combination of real and synthetic. So I mix a lot of hair together and like depending on the color and what I have. Like a lot of it's just like, what do I have? Or like
Okay,
I'll buy hair if I need to, but a lot of it is more like, what have I used up? What colors are complementary? And then I just put it all together.
interesting.
Yeah.
And so, how long are these wefts? Are these must be 30 inch,
They were
something like
around like
that?
some of them could be, some of them are around like 18 to 20, I would say. Some are shorter, some are
Okay.
longer.
So there's real money in this. I mean, because I know that hair is expensive. Of course, the natural hair is more expensive. The hair that we use for extensions is more expensive. This maybe is different than that because some of it's synthetic, so it's
Yeah.
not going to be as. But I imagine it's probably just in the raw materials is a decent amount of money. Is
It
that right?
most definitely is. Yeah, it's like I I always joke that I'm like I like fund my life by like working, but it all goes back into this stuff. Like it's almost like it just equalizes. So like the car I drive or like the other financial decisions I make are based on what money's going into the hair and then what money do I have left. So it's like it is my priority. And I kind of believe that if you want to do it, do it. Like you gotta be willing to put something on the line, you know?
Yeah, sacrifice.
It's a big sacrifice, yeah.
That's the part that nobody really wants to do.
And it's so funny, yeah, because it's like I sometimes think if only people knew like how much money or how much time and like effort and like my own private time and frustrations and work into it, I don't know if they'd want to do it. Like
Well,
I
that's
like
why we're talking.
so yeah,
That's why we're talking because I like to talk about those kinds of things
yeah.
because I'm not so sure, kind of like you said, people don't know.
I don't
And
think they
and
do.
so it's yeah. So you're basically talking about spending a week, at least a week, on this one wig and maybe $1,000 in cost, and you're not going to get any money for it. So you're basically
Zero.
investing in zero money,
Like I'm telling you, like, zero. Like
zero money.
zero. But
Yes,
you get
actually
awards.
costing you money.
Yeah, it costs me money, yes.
Right. You get awards. The awards don't pay you money,
No. And that's what
but you're.
no, a lot of people out of the
Yeah.
industry actually ask me, like, my partner's family or even like people that don't know much about the industry, like, oh my God, you must get like a 20,000 cash prize. And I'm like, wow, I wish. Like, no, not at all. But a lot of competitions you do in other industries. So
Yeah. I wonder, did like the Grammys pay money? I don't
I
think
don't know.
so.
I don't know. I've heard of like I can't remember what it's called, some kind of style icon fashion competition recently. I seen it come up on my feed. I actually entered it and I don't really know what it was, but yeah, you get like
Okay.
$20,000 if you win it or something. And I'm like, oh, this is a paid competition. Like these exist. Like, cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I imagine the Grammys they don't pay you money because everybody who wins the Grammys rich.
they're already rich.
So I
Yeah,
don't know. They're already rich.
yeah, they
Why are they
do it.
getting more money?
Yeah, they should just give it
Yeah,
to
I
their
don't.
hairstylists and makeup artists. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, and they want their hair and makeup for free,
yeah,
which
isn't that
is
wild? Like, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah,
We should do an episode on that.
yeah,
Bullshit.
totally. Like,
That'll be the title of the episode.
yeah,
Um, okay, so you're spending a tremendous amount of time. You're spending a decent amount of money on this stuff. You're making zero money in return. But we can chalk this up to an investment in marketing yourself
yes.
to then get hired by a brand to do like real editorial work that is in their advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's so interesting because it's like, I always find like this is just a comparison of like, and I shouldn't say men and women because it's not just men and women, but I have female friends who are very entrepreneur and like financially driven. But I'm not that way. Like, I think I'm so much more of a creative mind. So for me, like, it's nice. And like, of course, I have goals that I want to be hired to do these things. But even if I did it, I like doing it so much, I would still do it. And I think that's what keeps me going and why I've had success doing it is because I don't do it for the external jobs or I don't get demotivated if I don't get them. I'm doing it because I just really like doing it. I would do it anyways. So yeah, but but yes, of course, you are investing it into hopefully getting paid to do it one day. And then you do land those jobs and you're like, I wouldn't have got those if I didn't do this. So yeah.
And this is probably why you've been so successful and you won so many awards, because you really enjoy doing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you enjoy it despite the difficulty of it. Like you described a minute ago, you described how when you were trying to do the melted paint idea, it wasn't working. Right? That's the creative process. You try different things with different materials. It's a really interesting kind of expression of art. It's like sculpture, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there's frustrating parts where you put a lot of, again, you put the time, you put the money, and then you're not getting the result that you want, and it's like wah wah.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about it too is that like unlike a job where you're getting like financial rewards back, you really are getting nothing back for it, and you really don't
Zero.
know if you're going to in any capacity. You're just kind of putting it out there, hoping someone likes it, and if they don't, you're like, well, I've spent all of that to do it. But I kind of think that's the only way to actually like get those external rewards is to go in all the way and do it. Like put all you have into it or don't
Yeah.
do it. Because then if you're doing it halfway and you end up as a finalist or semifinalist, you go to the award show and I've done that for years. You're a little bit disappointed because you're like, well, I did my best. But and I say
Mhm.
this because I like coach students with competitions and stuff. Like just because it's your first time doing it, it's not the world's first time seeing it, right? Like you have to remember we get so attached to our work that we think it's like it's our baby and we want these results, but you have to just put it out and be like, if people don't like it, they don't like it. And that's a part of it. Like, yeah,
That's part of it.
yeah.
So, do you kind of have a process of, um, you know, self analysis of your work? Well, I shouldn't say self analysis, maybe like third party analysis where you try to remove those emotions or
Yeah.
that bias. And then you try to kind of wash your brain and then open your eyes and try to look at it as if somebody's never seen it before.
Yeah, honestly, like it's weird because I almost don't have to think about doing it because I don't know how to say this. I don't really like anything that I do when I'm doing it. So I have such a critical eye that while I'm doing it, I'm like, this looks bad, this looks bad. I'm like flaw finding. Like I'm very
Yeah.
detail oriented. I joke about it all the time with my partner. Like I am like the most detail oriented. Some people are big picture thinkers. I'm not a big picture thinker. I can zone in when I'm doing it and be like, this looks bad. This looks bad. Let me fix this. Let me fix that. Let me make this. Like it's all about having the eye to make something look beautiful. And then when it's beautiful, knowing when to stop. And then I'll seek external opinions usually of people like in the industry that I know. Like honestly just my friends who I'm just like, hey, I send them a photo. Does this look normal? Could you, and they're like, yeah, I could see like that going somewhere. Cause usually I don't see that with my own work. I'm like, no, it's not gonna land, but I need that external to be like, no, when the lighting's on it and when you have the outfit, it's gonna come together. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, this sounds like the mind of an artist. You're very detail oriented. You're probably a perfectionist. However, you have to, as Steve Jobs once said, you have artistship. He famously said, meaning you're not an artist until you put your work out into the world, uh, and bear the consequences of people giving their opinions about it.
Absolutely. And I'm my own worst critic. I am such a perfectionist that I will do a shoot, submit it off, and other people might be like, "Oh, I love this look," but if I don't like the look, I'm like, "They like that. Okay."
Right.
Like,
That's
right?
the
It's even
thing.
sometimes I sometimes don't even like my own stuff. So like most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. So yeah, and I think it is sort of vulnerable. I had a friend actually
Mm.
make me like she mailed me a happy birthday card, and her and her kids got together and they were made this card for me. It was so sweet, for like my 30th birthday. We were on the phone talking about it, and she said that she felt vulnerable making this card and mailing it to me. She's like, and she wrote that in the card. It made me realize this art that you do putting it out, you must feel so vulnerable to what other people think. Because I was worried that my card art wasn't. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is. You put it out and you're like, it looks
Yeah.
good. Like,
I hope they like me,
yeah, yeah,
right? I mean, I'm sure we identify ourselves based to some degree based on what people think about the art that we put out there. And
yeah,
that's the vulnerability that you're talking about.
yeah,
And it's so interesting. I've known people who are very, very, very good artists, and they don't want anyone to see their art. They don't even put it in their house for their best friends or family to see it.
yeah.
And I always think, God, what a shame that they are unwilling to kind of put it out there, for fear that somebody might say something that they're gonna feel bad about, and they're not gonna be able to recover from it or something.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's like an
yeah,
exercise in like having to really like take your there's like the fear part of it, but also like the ego part of it to just like I just remind myself like all the best people who make the best work also make bad work sometimes. It's okay if not
yeah,
everything I do is a hit. It's okay if I
totally.
put something out like, oh, that did well as I thought, but that's okay. Like people move on. Nobody really cares as much as we
Totally.
care about. No one cares really at all. So it's if we
Yeah.
internalize it so much, like unnecessarily, but it's almost impossible not to do it because it's so we put so much of ourselves into it. How do you not get
Yeah.
attached to it and want it to do well? Like,
Totally. Totally. I was watching the Billy Joel documentary the other day. I think it's on maybe Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of those. And my wife and I were watching it, and a decent amount of the documentary was how the critics would pan him all the time. He would put out an album, and the critics would say how horrible it is and how affected he was, and he would be talking about it now, decades later. He's probably 75 years old, and he would talk about how much he didn't like that. And it took him a long time to get used to the critics not liking him very much. And of course, this is in the backdrop of him being one of the most famous singers in the world.
yeah, yeah,
But he was still very, he was hurt for the longest time that a couple critics would say that his album was bad, um,
yeah.
even though it was selling millions of copies, right?
Yeah, I think because when you're selling, well, no, I think maybe because when you're selling millions of copies of something, it's obviously landed well for a reason, but it's maybe landing so well because the person who made it is so aware of the good and the bad of it. There's an awareness part sometimes of
Yeah,
how to do it, so they already know maybe the cringy parts or the parts that they're like, oh, that could have been better. So when someone else
yeah,
says it, it's like you're like, oh my God, other people see that too. Like, I don't,
yeah,
that doesn't feel good, right? Like, but it's
yeah.
isn't it insane? Yeah, you can have massive success, but still be like, ah. you know?
Life isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect.
Yeah.
I find that the people who don't put up their stuff, who love painting and love doing it, love producing art, but then they hide it. I find that they almost hide behind this idea of perfect.
Absolutely. And I think too, like you'll never find someone who's putting their work out there, being vulnerable, being a critic, like ever, because they totally
Mm,
respect what other people are doing and they see it, they see it. But if you're not putting it out there, it's so much easier to feel negative feelings inside about the whole
yeah.
thing and just kind of shy away from it. Whereas if you're doing it, you're like, good for you. Like, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of a lot of the sensitivity around posting things on Instagram or TikTok, right? Within the hair community, nobody wants there might be 80 really nice comments, and there's one comment of some asshole who says, I've seen this 100 times,
Yeah.
but better versions or something. And
Yeah.
I know people who don't want to post because of the potential, the possibility of this one asshole comment.
Yeah, totally. Like it's just, yeah, putting yourself out there is so much worse to some people than to just put it out there and have to live with it. Like there's always the delete button.
Yeah.
You delete the comment, delete the post, move
You
on.
can delete the guy, yeah, but it still is there in the psyche. And then they're like going to bed at night and they're like, God, who was that guy? I can't believe they didn't like it.
You
It
really have to
ruins
like,
the whole thing.
yeah, you'd have to like really tell yourself to not let it bother you.
You
Like
have
sometimes
to, exactly.
I don't get hate comments because I'm not big into posting stuff like that, but I can't even really imagine if I did get hate comments, like how would I? I don't know. I'd probably just have to be like, I don't just put it out of my mind. Like, I don't know.
That's where meditation comes in, to grab control of your thoughts and be able to just extinguish the bad ones. Because
Yeah.
human nature has us kind of wallowing in them, right? The one out of 80 comments, it has us wallowing in that one stupid comment, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It's very interesting. All right, so what is I'm trying to get like the ratio of how much time you spend between doing these rather costly award editorial shoots versus the ones you actually get paid for.
Yeah. So I would say the ratio to what I do versus what I get back, well, I'm thinking about it. Like,
Like how much of your let's take
yeah,
a month period of time.
yeah.
How much time during the last month did you spend on award related shoots and work versus stuff that you're getting paid for?
So it's interesting. So I'm a teacher. So it's kind of so I'm like, how do I like explain it? Okay. So
Well, you could throw that in. So
yeah,
you spend, you have three things that
yeah,
you're primarily doing right now. So
yeah,
how much is education? Yeah.
yeah. So like my like 9 to 5 is I'm teaching and finishing my degree. So I'm teaching under a letter of authority, basically in high schools. So while I finish my degree,
Hair.
yeah, I can teach cosmetology, aesthetics, hair, makeup, all of it. So that funds like my life. And then on the weekends, I'll take clients, things like that. Or I'll have like independent contract jobs, like I did like a photo shoot where I did makeup for Bedhead, or like I went to Las Vegas and did master classes. So it really depends on the month. It depends on like, did I get hired in that month to do like extra work on top of
Mm.
my 9 to 5 work, or did I take clients or things like that? So, I mean, the ratio of what I put into it versus what I get back, I would say it definitely like, oh, I'm trying to think if it would equalize. Over a year period, I wouldn't say it would equalize. Like I'm definitely spending more into it than I'm getting back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with my
Yeah.
9 to 5, it
That's
equals. Like
right.
definitely. Is that
No, it makes
yeah.
sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes it. It's really a labor of love, and I almost feel like it's a gift to the industry. I mean, it sounds maybe a little cheesy, like I'm buttering you up.
No,
I
it's
have no
not.
reason to butter you up, but it does. I mean, it seems like a gift to the industry to see. It's like a gift of art. within our industry, and I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, I think like art, that's really nice of you to say that, first of all. Very nice. And yeah, I think that like the art in its most like pure form, like to not get again cheesy talking about it, but it is so pure. Like I feel like there's so much of like I mean, it's been like this forever in every industry. I'm learning this as I get older into my 30s. Everything is about money. It's always about capitalizing on everything. That's what makes the world turn. But there's
Yeah.
something about art that you can't, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you can do good art, right? Like
Mhm.
it is, I do think it's a gift that if you pour into it, it gives back to you, but it's so much more intrinsic usually than what you get back monetarily because I can tell when I'm looking at other people's photos, like are, right? Like that person did that from something in their mind that they pulled out. Nobody paid them to do that. There's nothing that they could pay to do it. They just did it because they could see it. Like that, I think is what makes it special. But I think for
Mhm.
me, like that's why I kind of make that sacrifice of like, even if I'm not booking all of the jobs yet that I want, like monetarily, what I get to do is so fulfilling in that way that there's no, what's the word? Nothing takes away from the pureness of it because I don't need money
Mhm.
back. Like I like
Mhm.
money back for it, but I don't need it because I have a job. I can do clients,
Mhm.
I can teach, I can do a lot of things for money, but and it helps you be kind of choosy, because if
Yeah, sure. It supports it. It does
yeah,
support it.
it
Hmm.
supports it and it keeps it pure. It keeps it about the art. There's nothing that
Yeah.
I won't spare any expense and it's for the art. And I won't allow
Yeah.
my, I guess, artistic integrity to be sacrificed for
Hmm.
money. So
Right.
to do that, you have to have a job and have money, right? Or else if
Right.
you rely on it too much for your income, then you're not creating from like a pure place. You're like, give me something back, you know? Like,
Hmm.
does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
No, it does. And maybe that's what makes you special is that that's kind of a hard thing to find in someone. Like their passion is so deep to do something so hard and creative, and you're willing to put it out there, that there's just not a whole lot of use, I think. And then when I said that what doing that kind of work supports your job, I don't mean money wise. I mean in terms of your practice, your exercise, your craft, your credibility, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Definitely. And I think like that investment in it, it gives you the reputation of what's important to you. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
in like valuing your own creations in that way, it sort of forces other people to, right? Like it's like, yeah, I don't know, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I feel kind of like if I get hired for something, it's because they know there's a certain expectation that's gonna come out of it. Like the work's gonna be as good as it possibly can be because that's who I
Mm-hmm.
am. Like
Yeah.
through and through in the work, it won't falter. Obviously, I'm human,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's what makes it special too, I think, is the attention to detail and the perfectionism that makes people hireable for the certain jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right in that
Mm-hmm.
that you are kind of like showing that in investing in the work to, I don't know, I don't have the words for it, to attract what you're putting out, I guess. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's yeah, it's hard to describe, but really amazing what you're doing. And I really want the listeners to go to your website and check it out, and to go to your gram. You have some of your work on your gram, but you don't have a lot of it.
hmm,
Um, well, no, yeah, yeah, you do. Sorry, I just didn't scroll down far enough.
that's okay. I was like, I don't really know what I post. Who knows? Maybe I
You're
don't.
like, you're not on the right Instagram page. Okay, I see it now. All right, so give me some other kind of sources of inspiration, because I could see people looking at this and they're like, "Oh my God, never seen anything like that. Like, where does that come from?"
Yeah, I think like I don't want to say the older I get, 30, but like as I age, I think like my style becomes more apparent to me. So a lot of it comes through fashion. Like I think that
Hmm.
everyone kind of has their own touch they put on hair they do. So I would say just knowing myself, knowing what I like. So when I'm looking at photos, like I'll often make a mood board, or I'll be thrifting and I'll see something and like just I think so much of it is just having an eye for what you like. Like everyone has different preferences. For me, I like, really like Barbie-esque, sort of like pretty hair, but like kind of edgy still. Like I don't know how I would describe my own style, but I just know when I see something I like it. So I do a lot of mood
Mm-hmm.
boards before I do any shoot. I get like a very clear vision
Mm-hmm.
of like what what's the vibe. Perfection.
Okay.
Some of them work
And
perfection.
your mood boards are like how detailed are they? Like how long does it take you to do a mood board?
Like I can do a mood board quick. I can do a mood
Okay.
board like
Are you like drawing on a piece of paper with some
sometimes.
colored
Yeah.
pencils or
So I
something?
used to do it all on paper. So I would like draw certain, well, I still do. I guess I do a combination. Like, so I'll look at like photos of hair, photos of makeup I like, and find like shapes or like themes, like, or I'll just start pinning things. Like, I'll just pin things I like, and then I'll notice a theme after. So I'll go back and look at the board and see like, oh, I like, a lot of these like curved shapes. So how about I make it more curved? So there's always kind of
Mm-hmm.
a thread of a theme. Like, and if I get a little off that, where I'm like, okay, the theme is curved and I'm not making something spiky. Well, maybe that's for another collection. So I've had to learn to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like discard some ideas because when you're in that creative mindset, you just get so many ideas that you can sometimes throw them all together and it doesn't work. So there has to be a bit of a
Right.
process of like sifting.
Right. Sifting, categorizing between the ideas that'll work together
Yeah,
and those that might be good ideas, just in a different context.
yeah. And that's hard. Like I think that I used to like, just put so much random stuff together and be like in my head, I thought it would, but then now I've learned to be like pare it down, like
Mm-hmm.
reducing it to like what's the theme here, you know?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I see. Yeah, you've got a post of you in an art museum or art gallery, and you're probably getting inspiration there.
Yes, I probably
Yeah.
was.
I'm sorry.
I probably was. Yeah, I don't know what gallery it is. I
Yeah.
don't know how long ago, but yes, I do go to art
The,
galleries too.
I've scrolled down quite a bit. So, well, very cool. All right. Well, do you have any editorial hair horror stories?
Oh, that's a really good question. Horror stories. Like,
Mm-hmm. Something goes wrong,
yeah.
and maybe it's not. It doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody else.
I had one story come to mind, but I don't think I want to tell that one. So I'm trying to think of another.
Why not?
I
No,
don't
you
know.
have to tell them now.
Okay.
If
So,
it,
you know
yeah,
what?
that's a
Okay.
podcast rule. If it
You know what?
comes to your
Listen,
mind, you have to say it.
here we go. Okay. So, um, yeah, so when you're doing these shoots, like, you never know who your model is. Like you see what they look like, but you don't know how they're gonna pull off a look, right? Like you can
Mm-hmm.
see all you want through like a booking site, but that's all you see. So I was doing a photo shoot and I had a few models, and one of the models was just like totally not into it. Like I don't know if she was having a bad day. I think it was just who she was, kind of as an individual. Like I don't think modeling was for her. I don't think she was enjoying it. And it's like we talked about how much money and time is being put into this. So when you're finally putting it on someone and you're like, run, like putting it out there, and it's the person's just like, whatever. You're just like, oh my God. Like I
Yeah, you're like, get excited.
yeah, I've spent like, and the thing is like I have to say too, like this is like 0.001 this ever happens. Like 99% of people are so excited and are like, this is so cool. I can't wait to, I get to wear this. This is the weirdest, coolest thing. When people get really into it, they're taking selfies with it because it's weird stuff, right? But some
Yeah.
people are just, I don't think they want to be a model or they don't know what being a model entails. I don't know. But she just was
Right.
not happy to be there. And it was like, it was hard for me because I was like, I want you to serve in this and you're just serving nothing for me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fine. Sometimes those photos just get cut, but you're paying for it all. So you're kind of like, hey, like,
Oh, she's getting paid. Well, you're paying the
what? I
photographer,
think she was
maybe.
getting paid. And if someone's not
She
getting
was getting paid.
yeah, so if
Oh,
someone's not getting paid, then I'd be like, whatever. Like I understand. It's
yeah.
no commitment. But it's funny because sometimes, like in the past, in my early shoots, I was just doing it on people I would find in the street, so nobody was going to pay for anything. And
Mm-hmm.
those people were so excited, like they were like. But sometimes people who were getting paid are just like, a bit of an attitude, not really into it, and that's my only horror story. And I didn't want to say it because I don't want any models to like be like, was it me or like, no. I don't think this model.
You know who you are.
Yeah,
You're listening and you know it was you.
you know. I don't think they'll.
You were in a bad mood that day and it showed.
You killed the vibe. Like,
You
but you
killed
know what?
you.
The photos still
Hmm.
turned out great. So like the rest of the collection's amazing. Cut a few photos. Who cares? Like,
Did you or did you not win an award for that? Or was that a paid
I
job?
will. What's that word people say? I'll plead the fifth. Oh
Yeah, I'll plead
no,
the
because I feel
fifth.
like that narrows
So,
it down. So I don't think it
oh,
does it because there's been I won
oh,
awards for
because
years,
it
so
was
it
the
doesn't narrow
one
it down.
time you
So
didn't win an award.
so I did win an award with that collection. Yes.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down.
I was just gonna say I thought it would, but it didn't. So
So I guess it was just fine, and she earned her money because you won the award anyway.
yeah,
And maybe it was kind of like the sullen look of the model that kind of gave it an air of
she gave it a little bit
like
of edge, and
melancholy.
good for her. Like,
And the judges were like, ooh, I love the contrapposto of the melancholy with the bright hair.
totally,
Never seen anything like that.
totally.
The models are always smiling and happy. This one,
This
this one
one,
is
no,
dark and moody.
it worked out. So thank you to that model because everything happens for a reason. Like,
I love it. Any last words for the community?
yeah, I would say just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's not worth it. I think that like
Mm.
I don't know, I teach a lot of like the younger generation, and I think that like so the salon culture, I guess, as a whole, has changed so much for the better in so many ways. And in some ways, it's changed in ways that, like, I don't know, like, I really love, like, OG hairstylists. Like, that I like. Like, I look at, like, my hair icons are like Robert Labetta, like Damian Carney, like that part of the industry. Like, I don't think that it's dying and it ever will. But like, I put so much respect on that. I kind of view it as like there's new generation hairstylists and old generation, and like I work with the new, but I love the old. So I want to like try to continue with that. And like, there's like standards to this, right? Like, it just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not worth it. So like these looks that I'm doing, like I think that you talked about how hard it is, but I'm proud of the work I've done. I like what I'm doing and I think it's fun. I think it's cool and I want to do that work. So I think that what I would say to, I mean, all hairstylists, any age, but especially because I work with youth, is just like, you know, all good what's that saying? All good things are hard. Like there's nothing without like sacrifice. Like it's so I don't know. I'm
I
happy with
think
what I've done and I would do it again. Like all the
I
hard work too. Like
I think that's great. I think there's a very strong correlation between things that are valuable and things that are hard.
yeah. Yeah,
You know, the
there is.
easy things don't tend to be valuable.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just that's if I could say one thing, that's what I would say is like when I'm doing these things, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's so hard. But then afterwards, I'm just like, is it really that hard? Wait, it was no, like
That's funny.
it was worth it. It
Yeah.
was so worth it. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Things that are easy, everybody's doing those things, and that's why they're not valuable because they're common.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So so go towards the things that are difficult. If you find something that's interesting to you and it's difficult, then maybe that's exactly the type of thing that you should be spending your time and energy on.
exactly. And I think too, it is just a part of the creative or learning or any kind of process. Is usually the beginning you do suck at it and it's hard. And if you don't push through that, well, then you just move on to the next thing. And I think like my success really has come from I just didn't move on to the next thing. I just stuck with my thing. And that's really what it comes down to is like there's been lots of times I could have ventured on to something else, but like I stuck with it and you know, I've been doing I've been in the industry now for like how old? I'm 30. It started when I was like 17. So what is that, 13 years? So yeah, and like I'm gonna keep doing it forever. Like because I just why not? I don't know. I think people should just stick to things that they like doing and
I
get
think
over
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think most people, and again, this is what separates the most people from the people who do things that are special. The people who do things that are special, they have that grit and tenacity to stick it out. They put in the 10,000 hours. So you've heard the 10,000 hours to become an expert, or to master something.
Yeah.
Especially if you're talking about art or something creative, you want to master something. Takes 10,000 hours. That by definition, that's difficult, right? Something that takes 10,000 hours. And a lot of people just kind of give up well before the 10,000 hours.
Absolutely. And I think
So,
like we especially with social media and like just like technology in general, everything is so fast. I think that we're so used to just things happening so quickly. And I think that's something that we don't necessarily teach all the time. And I know this because I'm a teacher, is that like I
yeah.
think, and maybe I expected this too, and I just don't remember things and I probably did. Thought I would have a clientele faster than I would, or thought I would have this faster than I would. But I've just learned that like good things just take time. Like you just literally have to keep doing it. It doesn't matter if you're bad at it. It doesn't matter whatever the barrier is. If you just keep doing it, you're so far ahead of other people who just stop doing it. That's all you have to do. And you probably know that with your
Totally.
podcast too. It's like it probably wasn't a hit from the first episode, but you keep doing it and then it just picks up.
Mhm.
Like but if you stop doing it, I'm being redundant,
Yeah. And now look how good I am at it.
Yeah,
I'm
look.
kidding. That was a joke. That was poking fun at myself.
No, you are
Um,
really good at it. This is a
well,
good conversation.
look how amazing I am at being a podcast host. No, I'm 100% making fun of myself. However, there is some, there's 100% a correlation between what you're saying. And we have the first episode of this podcast that is available to watch and listen to on any of the platforms. If you want to watch it, it's excruciating. It's on
I have to
YouTube.
go watch now.
It was with Andrew Does Hair. It was about 8 years ago, and it was god awful. Oh my god, I was so nervous. I had this little microphone that I bought at Best Buy, and I taped it to the end of a comb, and I held it up to Andrew. It was in person, and I held it up to Andrew Does Hair. Everybody knows Andrew Does Hair, and I held it up to him, and I asked some kind of like boring questions. Like I wrote a script in advance, and Andrew was looking at me like Andrew had done 500 interviews, and he looked at me like, what the hell am I doing here with Eric? This is like we knew each other before, but not as me being an interviewer. So it's horrible. And so, yes, now it's less horrible. But everything that you're saying is 100% correct. If you want to do something highly valuable and very great, then it's going to take a lot of time. And by the way, I'll boil down the 10,000 hours. If you were to do something full time for a year, it's about 2,000 hours. So you figure like when you get a job, you work 40 hours a week, 40 times 52 weeks, minus you take 2 weeks off or whatever. So 50 times 40, it's 2,000. So 2,000 hours, 10,000 divided by 2,000, that's 5 years.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something really good, you want to become so good at it that you kind of are expert level, it's going to take 5 years. And that's 5 years full time.
Full time. And not even before if you change your mind, right? Like you might start
Change
in
your
hair and like
mind.
I felt like after 5 years I had my own business and I loved what I was
Right.
doing, but then I was like, but I think I want to do something else. And then another 5 years later of focusing on that, it's like,
Right.
to find what you really like.
Yes.
So
It takes that long. And the younger generation, I think every younger generation probably was impatient.
yeah. And like I'm
Maybe.
impatient. When I want something, I'm like, I want it now. Like, but I think that there's
Yeah.
that sense, I think there's a good thing about giving yourself a sense of urgency. Because if I was like,
Yes.
oh, it'll happen at some point, like I always had the thought of like, at some point in my lifetime, I would like to win an award. But it wasn't until I was like, I want to win at least one award before I'm 30 that I actually got some traction because I gave myself like, if I'm not putting in the work, this isn't going to happen. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So I think that the ideal way to look at it is to be impatient on a day-to-day basis.
yeah,
Like today, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna get to it. Whatever it is.
yeah,
So I think you need the impatience on a daily basis. However, you need the patience in a longer term sense. So don't be impatient every day for a month and then be like, it's already been a month, and I'm not where I should be. No. In that regard, the longer term perspective, you need to be patient, but on a day-to-day basis, you need to be impatient. And most people are the exact opposite. They
Absolutely. Yeah,
think
that's so funny.
on a
That's the perfect way to put it. Yeah. Like very
on a
impatient.
day-to-day basis,
Yeah,
yeah. And the problem with that is that then you pick up your phone and you start scrolling Instagram instead of getting to it.
totally.
And then, yeah,
When you like set like for me, I'm like such like goal oriented. If I set a goal for myself, if I don't set that goal, then I don't feel guilty scrolling on my phone. But if I set the goal and I know if I don't reach this goal, the only person who's gonna have to live with me is me, and I'm gonna look back at myself and be like, well, I know I could have done better. I hate that feeling. I hate
yeah,
That's what I
I
avoid in
know.
life. I hate the feeling of I could have done better. So at
Hmm.
all costs, try to avoid that. So like by setting goals, I know when I'm not doing what I need to do to reach those goals, which then helps me reach those goals. And then,
Yeah,
but in that, you got to be patient in the long term. But it gives you that urgency to like have impatience day to day with yourself to be like, no, I can't put this off anymore. Like I gotta, a week doesn't, or a podcast or anything doesn't just happen by like that. It always ends up taking longer than you think it will. So you kind of have to like
yeah,
seize the moment every day to get it going. Like,
100%.
yeah.
Wise words from you, Breanne. This was great. I really enjoyed this. And look at that. Great last words for the community. When I asked you that question, you were like, what am I going to say? And then you had all those pearls.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, but you're thinking as you say it, like, is this what I want to say? It was my moment to say something. I struggle with that.
It
I'm not even
was.
saying whatever. So
That's right. Kind of reminds me of an Eminem song. That was your moment.
yeah,
You took it.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Brianna. So fun talking to you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you too. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me to do this. Like, it's been so fun and this was such a good conversation. I feel so like my creativeness is flowing. I'm like, I want to
Ooh.
do
You're
something.
invigorated? Are you
Yeah,
invigorated? You're
yeah.
going to go and like start a new campaign now.
Yeah, I just might. Like,
I love it. The pleasure was mine.
oh, thank you.